What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics. Today we got a reaction to Cake and their album Fashion Nugget, brought to us by a friend, longtime supporter, and patron of the channel, Robert. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the patrons who make this thing go. If you'd like to support us in any way, check out that Patreon link below, the Patreon link on the end screen. I say it all the time. We could not do it without the patrons. All right, we only have one Cake reaction of a song that we did years and years ago for one of our OG patrons. Shout out to Javier. Javier loves him some Cake. Brought a lot of them in our live streams that we do, but I don't know any of these songs. I really don't know much about Cake, so if you don't either, here you go. Cake's an American rock band from Sacramento, California, consisting of singer John McCrae, trumpeter Vince DeFore, guitarist Zan McCurdy, bassist Daniel McCollum, and drummer Todd Roper. Now, there's been other band members. I'm not going to go into all of that. The band has been noted for McCrae's sarcastic lyrics and deadpan vocals and their wide-ranging musical influences, including Nortino, I don't even know what that is, country music, mariachi, disco, funk, rock, folk music, and hip-hop. In other words, just about everything you could possibly imagine. They were formed in August of 1991. Following the self-release of their debut album, Motorcade of Generosity, they signed to Capricorn Records in 1995, released their first single, Rock and Roll Lifestyle, which hit 35 on the modern rock charts. It was featured on MTV's 120 Minutes, which back then was a big deal. Their second album, this one, went platinum on the strength of its lead single, The Distance. And we'll get into all of that. Prolonging the Magic, their third album, was released in 1998 and went platinum, having shipped over 1 million units. This is followed 3 years later by Comfort Eagle, the band's first album on Columbia Records, featuring the single Short Skirt, Long Jacket, which hit number 7 on the modern rock charts. Following a series of tours, including several versions of the Unlimited Sunshine Tour, they released Pressure Chief in 2004, their second and last album on Columbia. They created their own record label, Upbeat Records, and they released Showroom of Compassion in 2011, which became its first album to debut at the top of the Billboard charts. Their studio output has been minimal since 2011. They're still touring, and they've hinted at an upcoming album, 6 studio albums overall. This album is their second studio album, released in 1996, was recorded at Paradise Studios, of course, in Sacramento. Had some chart success around the world, Australia number 9, UK number 53, US 36, but it sold over 2 million albums back, man, when you had a moderate success and could sell millions of albums. Those days are long gone. This album itself has elements of alternative rock, funk, hip-hop, rockabilly, jazz, country, pop rock, folk rock, and Latin music. All tracks are written by John McCrae, except where noted. If you haven't been with us before, the music won't be in the video, but it'll be a Vimeo link below. So click on that and follow along with us. Let's jump into it with Frank Sinatra. One of my all-time faves. Lots of Sinatra up on this channel. Type that in the bar after this video is over. Check it out. It also appeared and was used in the Sopranos episode, The Legend of Tennessee Moltisanti, and the Daria episode, Road Warrior. A lot of their music, I'm not going to get into all of them and all the songs, a lot of their music is featured in movies, TV, a few commercials. So I'm going to have the lyrics up as always. Thanks again, Robert. All right, Frank Sinatra. There's a lot to this song. There's a lot to their lyrics. They're very well written, very smart on the way they do them. Starts out with the chorus. So he's not at peace, but the rest of the song, he's sort of at peace. So there's just kind of some irony in there, but the instrumentation is what I would expect from Cake. Just, and then, you know, John's vocal delivery is different. It's more conversational, pulls you in. It doesn't take long to just pull you in. Just a good vibe, man. Next up, we have The Distance, lead single, considered one of the most popular songs. It was written actually by the band's guitarist at the time, Greg Brown, who eventually leaves, and that's a whole nother story. But John McCrae said, all the way up in 2019, he said, it's a song about success and failure of success, really. It's a sad song because there is no success. You can explode into the world with great magnificence and still feel like the guy underneath the Mickey Mouse head with the fan batteries that have stopped working properly, and it's dark under there. And everybody wants your autograph. Now, Brown wanted the guitar riff to be played throughout the song, but John felt it should be saved for the chorus, probably just part of the problems that were later on come about. Charted kind of all over. Australia 21, Canada Rock Alternative Chart 5, UK 22, US Alternative Airplay 4. So had some chart success, especially for Cake. All right, The Distance, a really good song, really well written, because what he's talking about here is this guy wants to impress this girl. They're in love. We find out later on, but she's all alone now because he's going the distance and then some. Everyone's already left. He's working so hard, and it's still not enough. No matter what he does, it's still not enough. And as the song turns and gets more dire because he's lost this girl, the instrumentation changes up and kind of fits the mood. So I thought it was fantastic, man. And also, it is what we are taught here in the United States, especially as men, as we grow up, work hard and outwork everybody. And that's one of the biggest lies you'll ever be told, because you're going to turn around and look around and you're going to have anything left, boys and girls. That's just what happens, man. I've seen it happen so many times. Yes, you have to work hard, but that comes with a price. And this guy's paying it, and so's the woman that he was in love with. Next up, we have Friend. It's a 4-letter word. All right, a little more dialed back instrumentation. Still great horns on here, but nice acoustic. The song itself repeats the chorus a lot because it gets it through to you. Friend is a 4-letter word, and all he hears on that word is in, because he has feelings for this person and they just want to be friends. And I'm going to tell you something right now, guys. That's one of the worst conversations you can ever have. And way back in the day, I might have had 1 or 2 of those with me on both ends of that conversation. Never fun. So I think almost everyone can relate to this. Next up, we have Open Book. All right, Open Book. So this girl's sharing everything with him, but he doesn't know really where to start because she shared so much. So shared so much, but he can't really get anywhere with her, if that makes sense. So the instrumentation on all of these songs have been different. There's some similarity running in there, but it just shows you their talent, man. They're not a slave to any sort of style, man. They just kind of spin it on how they feel. More conversational here for John on the vocals. Next up, we have Daria or Daria. We're going to find out when John sings it to me. Daria, I like the arrangement. I think he did something to wrong her, but then he flips it really quick, going, she's the one that hurt him, like I'm the victim, and he just goes on and on through that with all these different metaphors. So I thought it was really well done. I like the almost harmonizing on the Daria, so well done. Now we're going to go to a really fast song, 1:20 seconds, Race Car Ya-Ya's. Race Car Ya-Ya's, a little funny line in there, also a little harder instrumentation, so that was cool. Like a fragment of a song, but still like there's a lot to it. 14 songs on here, so this song is going to take us to the halfway mark. And this song, I'm going to go into some stuff on this song, so humor me. We got I Will Survive, originally written by Freddie Purin and Dino Vacaris, recorded, of course, by American singer Gloria Gaynor, released in October of '78. The lyrics describe the narrator's discovery of personal strength following an initially devastating breakup. The song is frequently regarded as an anthem of female empowerment, as well as a disco staple. Won in the US, UK, and Ireland, won Best Disco at the Grammy Awards, also received a nomination for Record of the Year and Best Female Pop Vocal Performance. Billboard and Rolling Stone ranked it among the 500 best songs of all time. Now, according to Dino Vacaris, the principal writer of the song, he wrote it after he got fired by Motown Records in the mid-'70s after 7 years working there as a staff writer. Jobless, he turned on the TV in his room and a theme song he had written for the film Generation happened to be playing. He took it as a good omen and jumped up and down on the bed saying, I'm going to make it. I'm going to be a songwriter. Of course, I will survive. He teamed up with his collaborator, Freddie Perrin, another former member of the Motown production team, to write the song. However, it remained unrecorded for 2 years as they couldn't find a suitable singer. Now, they eventually find Gloria because they become involved with this album that she's doing. But this song wasn't even put at the forefront. It wasn't given much thought. According to Robert Boogie Bowles, who played guitar on the song, in the 3-hour recording session, the session musicians spent most of the time recording the A-side single Substitute. As a result, they only had 35 minutes left to record this song. They also did not even know the song title or the melody of the song, but they were fairly relaxed recording it in the belief that the B-side would likely not be played. Based only on the chord changes and a few notes, they improvised freely much of the backing track, and Bowles filled in the bare bones of the tune with jazzy blues licks. Due to the difference in the intro from the main body of the tune, which made a smooth transition difficult, it was recorded in 2 parts and then spliced together. Gaynor then recorded the vocals wearing a back brace, having just had a surgery due to a fall at a concert. The injury and recent bereavement made Gaynor identify with the sentiment, I will survive. She said, that's why I was able to sing the song with so much conviction. After she recorded it, she was convinced it'd be a hit. She tried to get the label to flip the A and B side, but they wouldn't do it. So her husband took the song to a DJ who loved it. Then Gloria gave a stack of the records to the DJ, said, give these to your friends. And they started playing it, and all of a sudden it gets released as an A-side. Cake, of course, did this. In addition to many subtle changes, lead singer John McCrae altered the lyrics. In an interview, Gloria stated she did not like their version of the songs because it used profanity. Just in one place in there. This version we're going to listen to, the Cake version, went to number 28 on the U.S. Billboard Modern Rock charts in March of 97. Now, I'm not going to bore you with any more research, but I mean, this is an all-time banger song, so it deserved to be, you know, kind of the story behind it. But they've taken a lot of heat for this version because people thought it was a parody. They swear it's not satire or a parody, that it was a respectful version done. All right, I Will Survive. I mean, you heard the F word dropped in there when he changed it up just a little bit. You know, obviously caked up the arrangement of it is what I'll call it. A lot of bass in there and different things. I don't know. I mean, people were upset because they think he doesn't sing it with vigor, right? It sings it more as an acceptance. He's kind of been dumped and he's kind of down in the dumps about it, which I kind of see. It didn't really do it for me. I think this song is a tough song to cover. I give him credit for doing it. It's interesting they chose to do it, but I mean, it has almost 100 million streams. So what do I know? Now we go to Stick Shifts and Safety Belts. All right, Stick Shifts and Safety Belts. Rockabilly in here, a little bit of country action. You know, it's a simple song. They don't want the bucket seats. He didn't want the bucket seats because this girl's far over there. You know, you've got the column in between and things like that. He wants that bench seat, man, where she's right next to him, which I had when I was in high school. All the pickups had them, but I had a 77 Thunderbird and an 82 Monte Carlo. We had those bench seats, get them right there. You're driving in style, man. Let's go. Except we have Perhaps, written by Osvaldo Fares and Joe Davis. It's called Quasis, simply known as Quasis. Latin American Spanish, maybe that's Quisis. I don't know. Perhaps is a popular song by Cuban songwriter Osvaldo Fares. He wrote the music and original Spanish lyrics for this song, which became a hit for Bobby Capo in 1947. The English version was translated by Joe Davis. That's why you get the two songwriting credits on this one. From the original Spanish, the English version was first recorded in 1948 by the great Desi Arnaz. There's also a French and Turkish version. Perhaps, a fun one. You could tell it has a Spanish origin to it. The trumpet in there particularly, but the horns and the percussion. It's just really well done. She won't tell him that she loves him. He keeps asking her. And she just says, perhaps. That's some cold stuff, boys and girls. Don't do that. Next up we have It's Coming Down. All right, It's Coming Down. Almost a spaghetti western sound to it in this song. It's coming down. It's falling down. His relationship's falling down around him, and it describes it. She eventually leaves, but she's got his red sweater on. But the inevitability happens. It's coming down all around him. Yeah, that's repeated a ton, is coming down, but I like the feel of it. Next up, we got Nugget. All right, Nugget, shut the F up. So what this song is telling you, basically, the bureaucrats, the people in charge, tell you to kind of do what they tell you and like it. So that's kind of what this song is about. I liked it fine. I mean, it was okay. The arrangement was fine. Next up, She'll Come Back to Me. I mean, I hope for John's sake she does. She'll Come Back to Me. A nice pedal steel on there from Greg Vincent. I mean, started right away. So obviously a country feel. And the right song and the right content and subject matter for a country song. Because at the first verse, he lets her go. Last night I said to her, I didn't want to live inside a lie. She wants him more than she wants me. Let this be. So he's being the bigger man, so to speak, and letting her go. But he's convinced she'll come back to me. That's the chorus. She'll come back to me. Verse 2, all day I wait and wait to hear her footsteps on my walkway. She never came. She never even called. Somehow I know it won't last long. Somehow I know it won't last long in the bridge. She'll come back to me. So, you get to be an outsider looking at poor John, knowing this is not going to happen, man. Many of us have been there before as well, but I super enjoyed that. I super enjoyed how there's a total flip on that arrangement, man. Let's go. 2 songs left. We got the longest song on here, Italian Leather Sofa. Italian Leather Sofa. It's about a woman who's superficial, right? She doesn't care anything about what he does as long as she's got that money. And they emphasize that through maybe some enhancements she's had. And they're on that high dollar Italian leather sofa doing, you can imagine. But yeah, it's a really well done song. Clever lyrics, as always. I thought the instrumentation, like the instrumental run, was a little bit too long. Great trumpet work in here and stuff, but still a really good song. We're going to finish this thing out with Sad Songs and Waltzes. All right, Sad Songs and Waltzes. Should have told you up front. It's a Willie Nelson cover, so you feel the country in there. Great song. I mean, she left him, and he he's telling the whole world about it, but he's not famous. She even tells him it's a good thing I'm not famous because sad songs and waltzes aren't selling anymore. Otherwise, everyone would know what you did to me, but no one will ever hear this. So I'm just kind of doing it as a cathartic thing. But I thought they did a good job handling that, as they did with all the covers that they did on this album. That's going to transition me to my favorite tracks. Honorable mention, the opening track, Frank Sinatra. She'll Come Back to Me, Italian Leather Sofa. And my faves are going to be Friend is a 4-letter word, Perhaps, a cover, and The Distance. All right, now we'll get to my overall score. I think this is a very solid album. 14 songs, 48 minutes. Couple, maybe a song or two could have been cut out. The length of it's not bad, 48 minutes, 14 songs, but that's kind of how we did it back in the day, man. So, I mean, they actually showed restraint because most of these albums were into the upper 60s with hidden tracks and all of that good stuff. So overall score on this one is going to be a 7.75. I think it's really good, man. It's my first foray really into Cake outside of just hearing a random song here and there. John's lyrics are very, very intelligently written. And, you know, I read a lot of lyrics every year, like an insane amount. And his are very, very well done. So super enjoyed it. So let me know what you think of this album down below. Thank you, Robert, for bringing it. And until next time, guys, I will see you.